Hi, hello. I don't exactly know how to start this, but hello, hi there. I'll probably turn myself up because I don't want to talk too loud. Hi. I I don't know exactly how to start with this, but to starters, no, this is not. This is real. This is what's happening. There's been a situation with smallant for a while. And if you've there's I think I've talked on it 4 times, 4 separate times. A little bit just to explain why I am doing things particularly on my channel. The first one was basically just because it was just it was like just kind of um, um, out of like frustration that I have to be going through something like this, and the other couple were to explain why things are the way that they are on the channel, and trying to defend my character a little bit. So yeah, just wanna. This is the whole story, because what Smallant has done is he has gone on his stream and he has told his side of the story on what has been going on between us, and I wanted to explain my side of the story. I have written things down, so apologies if I'm a little bit like everywhere. I've also, I'm not the best speaker in the world. I have a little bit of a speech impediment, so be patient with me if I take a little bit longer to explain things. But I'll try to keep it as brief and as simple as possible. Before I say anything, please go and watch his VOD. I think it's very important to see both sides of the story. So if you just see this one, I implore you to go watch his. That is extremely important. So you get both sides of the story, and then you can make your own decision on what you think about it. At the end of the day, this is between me and Smallant, and I didn't want it to get like this, and I'll go into it more later. But yes, all right. So let me start. Um, so I want to show you guys my side of the story. He glossed over some points, and outright just misinformed you on other points. He also left out a lot of crucial context that does just make him look better. This isn't like a miscommunication. It's not as simple as that. It's not. It's not like as cut and clear. But that is fine. Um, so yeah. Anyways, that's kind of that's why I'm talking about this, is because I want to give you a story from an actual perspective that you know I don't know. I'll tell you all of the context and everything. Initially, this like was a rivalry that went a little bit too far. There were things that happened that I was a little bit uncomfortable with, that I probably should have come forward and communicated a little bit better. But when asked to stop, Smollett stopped mentioning me in his content, and his actions did continue. He portrayed me in a vastly negative light. He's actively discredited me, and he's emotionally manipulated not only me, but those around me and others in order to play the victim. I want to make it clear that stream also has no ads, so you can, so yeah, stream has no ads. This isn't like for anything. I'm not going to email only. I don't want my message to be interrupted by ads, and I don't want your opinions, whether it's positive or negative, based on either creator, to be suppressed. Now, obviously, it will be if it's just blatantly non-productive. However, I think it's important. That might be a bad decision, but I want to give some outlet here. Yeah, I also don't want anybody to go after him. I know it's kind of like the negative of this is compelling to do so, but please do not. I feel like this has just really gotten out of hand, and I need to explain after today on like what's gone on. So the beginning, there was the rivalry, right? So we had like a friendly rivalry between me and Smallant that was fun. You know, we would play streams, we would do streams together. We would kind of make some friendly jabs at each other, and we had like it was generally like a friendly rivalry that I think a lot of us liked. I loved it. It was a really good introduction to competition, speed running, and all these challenges as general. He helped me with a lot of things. I like titles, thumbnails. I've helped him with a lot of things, ads, sponsors, subscribing plugs. You know, we had good communication during that time, and things were really good. And we did content too. But he kept winning everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. I am good at playing I'm good at playing a guy who lost and really playing up that win for the other streamer. That's totally fine. However, like I'm really good at playing like an underdog, you know, and that's just like a fun like character that I like to play. But whenever I would lose, I'd start to be called like a loser and like a worse version of him. And it just didn't like I got bombarded with just a lot of like comments, most of which were joking. But it was just a lot at the time. I should have, it started to get bad though. Like the more and more it got, it got even worse, and I should have spoken up. That's on me. I should have spoken up, but I want to let you guys know why I didn't, because that is important to me. Put yourself in my shoes. He's a bigger creator, right? And at the time I think I just got partnered when like right after, like we met, and like I think 2 months later I got partnered. Just to put in perspective, he had like 400, 500 viewers at the time, which was 6 times the amount that I had. And I was like scared of disagreeing. I didn't want, I've heard all of these stories about things happening, and I was like, he's bigger creator. I don't want to disagree. That's the first one. Number 2 is just me as a person. I'm not very confrontational. That's just how it is. That's my own vice. That's something I've been trying to deal with and work on for a couple years now. But once again, this is a vice that I have that I need to work on. And 3 is that I was told that all of the hate that I was getting was natural for a content creator. Like that everything that was happening was what every content creator goes through. I know now that that is false. But yes, one example of these things that I was uncomfortable with, but afraid to kind of speak out about, was, and please don't put this person on blast at all. But when Smallant did a stream with his mother, speedrunning, he included a clip in his video, specifically as a joke at my expense, which we had the rivalry. I was a little uncomfortable when it came out. But once again, I didn't speak out about this because of the previous issues, which I should have, and that is my bad. But I will show this on stream. Let me. Yes. I will remove myself from all of this.
This is Odyssey. Does Small Mom watch Eric? Do you watch Pointcrow? Do you like Pointcrow? Be honest.
What? I'm gonna be honest. Pointcrow started streaming. I really like his energy. I love his raid video. And then when he started copying Tanner, I was kind of like, well, I'm not gonna swear, but I was kind of like, what the heck? Like, what's this guy doing? And I mean, in the end, Tanner and Eric are friends, but it really kind of annoys me that he copies them all the time. But I guess I need to get over it.
Thanks.
There's it part of the rivalry, right? This is part of the rivalry. You can see clearly with the chat as well that it's like, yeah, drag him, all this stuff. That's totally, at the time, that was totally fine with me. That was totally okay. I was a little uncomfortable with him including something like this in a YouTube video, specifically because they don't know all of the context behind things. But once again, I should have spoken out about this after he released it. I wish he wouldn't have, but that's yeah, we were kind of testing the limits of the rivalry at that point, so it's totally understandable. Okay, so yes, there's no hate towards like literally all the love in the world for Smallant Mom. She's super nice whenever I've interacted with her, and it's just, you know, we were pushing the envelope of the rivalry, and I was a little bit uncomfortable with that. I should have reached out about it. Anyways, the internet. I thought, you know, after all of this stuff, and one of the reasons why I didn't reach out was I thought the internet was just like naturally a cruel place, because of things he told me about a previous situation that came to light, and everything else that happened with some of the speedrun stuff that he was involved in. I think I should have seen, I think, some of the signs there about his character, but I didn't think that my problems were anything more than the average content creator. And so, as you'll see soon, he's really good at sidestepping and minimizing my issues. So I actually don't even know how well that would have gone in hindsight. So I'm really not at this point in time, which is around the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. I'm just like not in a good mental state. I'm having breakdowns. Have crippling imposter syndrome. I don't think I'm good enough. I start to think that everything that is happening with the rivalry is starting to be real, where I am like really just a lesser version of him. So here comes the after a while of this happening, we did this 19-hour stream. It was a fun collab that was actually a really good idea from Smallant. Basically, I was playing Pokemon Insurgents, and there was a line that says like something about Wooper, and I like tweeted at him, and he replies, and he's like, you know, if you know, to smack talk Wooper again, I'll do the current challenge. I'll do the challenge you just finished and upload the video before you. And I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was like such a fun little like collab where it's like we have this dual video where he comes out with his video and I also come out with mine, and his is like, okay, we're having a race, and it's, you know, they're going to be self-promoting, like cross-promoting between the two streams. And I was like, yeah, go for it, do it. And long story short, I end up losing. I got my video finished first, but my editor fell asleep, which I thought was just a perfect sort of like ending, because once again, I really like to play the underdog of like, no, you know, it's like, that's a lot of fun for me. But yeah, but this is like the first case, like the real first case when I just realized that things had started to really just get too far. Like I didn't like when he released his video, that his video was essentially just a dunk on me. It wasn't like, oh, we had this friendly challenge. It was like, he smack talked Wooper, and so I destroyed him. And destroy me, he did. I told him this too. It's just, comments on the video were not just negative because of what was happening, but on his video, because it was such a dunk, the comments were essentially, Pointcrow's worse than you, you know, he just got dunked on. And it was like, yeah, somewhat joking, right? But my video came out, and rather than the fun collab that I was expecting, it was actually just, nobody commented on how I did the challenge. Nobody commented on anything that had to do with the video. Every single comment for at least like 2 hours when it came out was Smallant is better than you. And also every comment was a variation of, didn't you just copy Smallant? Like, isn't this just a Smallant video? You just copied Smallant. And I was really trying to get into more than just Breath of the Wild there. I was transitioning. So, you know, I thought that, you know, it was a lot. And yeah, so it was a lot. And I thought that people were just like playing like people were comparing because they were playing new games and everything, but it just didn't like work well. I don't know. At this point in time too, I started getting interest from sponsors. It turned into base. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. The copying comments quickly turned from joking of, oh, he's copying blah blah, to very serious of why am I seeing that Pointcrow is copying smallant all the time? And you'll see later that I have told him this, smallant this, and he knows very well all of everything that has gone through here, which is insane, to say the least. Okay. So let me get into the sponsors. So I'm sorry if I'm taking so long to explain this. There's a lot, but sponsors started reaching out to me at this time because my channel started to grow a lot, and I had a lot of meetings with sponsors in order to talk deliverables, pricing, and all that. And what I found is that a couple of those sponsors, whenever I would work out things, they would end every call with, oh, by the way, if you could get us into contact with Smallant, that would be great. And it wasn't just sponsors. It was streamers. It was people. It was everybody. I was now not only being painted in a bad light by Smallant through the 19-hour stream video and be called a copycat, but people were using me to try to get to him. And I've also told him this. He neglected to mention that. After all of this, I told him, I was like, hey, I feel weird and I feel uncomfortable to more of a degree. And we really need to tone down things. And so then I'll show you guys the DMs. I wasn't expecting him to have just publicly show private DMs. I thought he was just going to talk about the Heart Gold Soul Silver stuff. I want to also reiterate that every single DM, except for Smallant's DMs, I have contacted the people involved and asked if it is okay, and made sure everything is fine with me showing this publicly and me talking about things like this. Let me show you. So this is the DM. I will read it out. If you don't mind, can we tone down the banter a little bit? I'm getting an increased number of people making jokes that we copy each other. I'm not a real speedrunner, which I'll talk about later. And flat out sending me insults on my chat DMs, and it's getting a bit toxic. It's fine between us personally, but people are taking the public rivalry too seriously, and constantly being berated by chat hoppers is starting to wane on my mental health again. Because I've mentioned this to him before. Nothing against you. Just need to tone it down a bit for the sake of our own chats. And he's like, for sure. Thanks for telling me. I was cordial and I was nice about this because I was under the impression this entire time that this was just a thing that happens with Twitch chats. When in fact, no, he is the one that painted me in a bad light in his video, which spawned these comments. So it's not the comments that are exactly at fault here. It's the fact that he has fostered this community that is very much okay with doing something like this. So that's the time when I said, hey, let's stop this. And I also want to bring up this too. Throughout all of this, I will skip around a little bit every now and then, but throughout all of this, I have been, like this period of time, I've been cordial with him. I've been respectful. I've been trying to be as helpful as I can to him, and he's been, doing what he's been doing. And so I've been deleting harmful things from my channel about him. Any mean comments, any mean Twitch chats, anything. And that also includes comments from like my clips channel my VODs channel, all this stuff. And Smallant has specifically said, like, hey, you want to ban this person from the Clips channel comments because they're an SMO moderator and they said something about me? And I, without a second thought, said yes. Right? I trusted him. I was like, all right, like if you, like, we're good friends. I don't want my friends to be going through something like this. I trust you. Delete it. And we've banned people, cross-banned from chats before. So someone would get banned in his chat for Twitch, and then he would come over and ask me to ban them in my chat as well. And I would just say, yes, I don't care what happened. I would just do it because I think I was trying to be helpful as it was, despite the fact that he's started painting me in these negative lights. So randomizer, the randomizer race and video is something I need to talk about as well. So the Pokemon map randomizer, which is a randomizer where you would step into, it doesn't matter. It's a mod for Pokemon if you haven't seen it. But what's important about it is you play this very fast paced. You use save states, you use loads, you use speed up. And so you have to have a bunch of rules of, like, you have to beat all 8 gyms in order, and you can only catch Pokemon in certain ways. So I tell him that this randomizer race, I'd love him to be a part of it because it was a lot of fun to do solo, and seems like a great time. One of the rules is that you cannot reload a save if you are not in a soft lock. So a soft lock is defined by a place where you can play the game still, but you cannot progress whatsoever. Like, you're stuck. And so you were only allowed to reload saves once you were out of a once you were in a soft lock, and it would happen every now and then because it wasn't perfect. And unfortunately, after the race, I get a DM from, I lost the race, by the way. I think he's undefeated. But I lost the race, and I was like, God, playing the underdog. It's like, hey, it was fun anyways, because it was the first map randomizer race. And I was like, that was a lot of fun. I want to do that again. That was great. And he had like an insane idea with like a Sea King and Waterfall. And I was like, that is just good content all around. But here is the conversation that we had afterwards. So I said, thank you. Seriously, that was tons of fun. An amazing job on the waterfall idea, right? And then he mentions, he's won already. And, bruh, I am watching your VOD. In the areas that I suffered for like 30 minutes to struggle on, you just reset. And I'm like, which ones? And he's like, oh, it seems like the mods pointed out after it happens a few times, we were stuck in the exact same place at the same time as Zubats. I was like, can you give me a timestamp? And he's like, I had a struggle, no big deal. Just had different definitions of sock lock in her head. And I think he gives me the timestamp, and then I say, dang, I'm sorry about that. It happens. It's whatever. And that's it, right? It's just very like, it's kind of like, sure. Because it's just a race. Like, it doesn't matter. I think we had 20 subs on the line, right? Like, it was kind of just like for content. It's just a race. Like, it doesn't really matter in the long term sides of things. So I was a little bit like weird that he DM'd me about that, but maybe it was just being nice about like, like, hey, by the way, I'm also like not as well versed in Pokemon, so I didn't realize that those areas were soft locks, because apparently if you fainted your Pokemon against Zubat for 30 minutes, you could have gotten out, and that didn't go through my head, so I reset. Honest mistake. And I didn't even want to mention until now that he was looking at his we had emo only because you don't want to cheat by seeing the other person's perspective to know where they've been. But you can actually bypass emo only by cheering bits. And so what people were doing were they were cheering bits, they were putting emotes specifically like Rayquaza and then the Thunder emote, which meant that Rayquaza was in Mauville because that's the thunder, right? Or the lightning, whatever. And so that's kind of how we found it. And, you know, I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to mention this. It's like, seriously, like, not a big deal. It's just like another thing, you know? It's seriously not a big deal. Yeah. Anyways, so all of this stuff, I'm like, oh, it's just like an end of a stream. It's just literally nothing. And then he comes out with this video very clearly highlighting all of this stuff that has happened. And I will play the video for you guys, and then I will also play for you what he said on the subject, because I think what he mentioned was not correct. Let me pull that up really quick here for you.
Escape rope.
So this, I think, I forget which order I wanted to do this in. Let's go with the way he portrayed me first, which is another reason of portraying me bad in a video at my expense.
Oops, bro. Something I forgot to mention was that there was an additional rule Pointcrow added where you're only allowed to reset if you're completely stuck in an area and there is no way to get out, or if you're trying to catch a legendary Pokemon. The thing is, I noticed while editing that he didn't really follow that rule and was just resetting in random places.
Which is a lie. They were not random places. And I did follow the rule from my perspective because I didn't have the game knowledge that he did. It was a misunderstanding here. However, please listen to how he juxtaposed this, because it's not this. He says that this is a funny bit that he included in a video. However, it's not funny because the juxtaposition is damning evidence that it makes me look out to be a cheater. I'll talk about it more in a second.
Not sure what that was about, but it's kind of funny to watch.
I can't go down. The only way we can go is Devon Corporation. Okay, so Evergrande, if we ever get to Evergrande, it is a soft block.
I swear to God, if Eric resets on stuff.
By the way, it does look in the video that I am soft locking at random points, but the points at which I soft lock are a closed loop. If that makes sense. So I would walk into one place, I'd walk into another place, and they were closed. You couldn't go back. So he's particularly edited it to look like this as well.
Like this, I'm gonna be a little mad because this isn't a soft lock.
That's a soft lock. Okay, it literally was a soft lock. I didn't have the scope to get out.
I'm gonna get to level 100 before my Pokemon faints. You have to white out and lose like 2 minutes.
Like, that's a full soft lock. Okay. That was all right,
bro.
Admittedly, that was not a soft lock. I'll say that one,
bro. Oh my lord, that was so painful. Okay, curse, 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 curse. Yes. Desert ruins. There's got to be 2 areas that lead there, right? This is extreme pain. This is torture. So I keep getting stuck in this hole where there's only level 20 Zubats, right? It's not a soft lock because you can technically white out.
Yeah.
But my Pokemon are too strong to be taken out by Zubat, so I'm stuck here for 5 minutes every time I get in here.
That's such a soft lock.
I know, it's like I can't reset because it's not a soft lock. It's extreme suffering.
Oh, I just found a soft lock.
I'm sure you did.
No, I actually did. oh God. Okay, yeah, good luck with it.
This is so...
So while that was the same area, right, I thought that was just a one-way. Remember, this is the first time that we are doing a randomizer race and the second time I'm ever playing this.
Painful, bro. I have takedown, but I have Rockhead. Oh my God, we're at 7 HP. Bro, kill me. Yes! 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 I'm dead! I'm gonna scream. No. These are even weaker Zubats. No.
Oh, this is the same place you can white out on Zubats there? Oh, okay. So we actually need to... All right, nice.
I'm gonna have to struggle out of this, aren't I? I am now soft locked in an area, not quite soft locked, with weaker Zubats.
Wait, I think I got soft locked in the same, like, quote unquote soft locked in the same spot you did, but my Pokemon's like, I whited out immediately. I don't have any Pokemon right now. Oh, but I just confirmed I don't have a Rayquaza. Dang it.
Okay, before we go into a loading zone, here's
right. So that is the clip that I probably played a little bit more than I should here, but that is the clip which clearly shows that I am kind of inept, which is valid. Like I'm not, you know, totally with Pokemon as much as I should be, I guess. But it was unjustly juxtaposed against his and painted in a light that shows me as a cheater. Now, if you watch the entire video, I lie a lot for content purposes, right? Because I don't want him to know how far I'm in the game and everything. But what he does is he edits out every single time that he does that and keeps in every time I do that personally, that I do that, which also puts me as a liar. Once again, this might not seem like really anything. Like you can just kind of brush it off. And I get that from the outside. It's just kind of like another thing. But it's thing after thing that's been piling on here, right? And you can understand why at this point I'm starting to get a lot of frustration from his videos. Also, keep in mind that before this, I told him that we need to calm it down on the rivalry. And he puts this out once again with the aspect that I am a liar and a cheater. And even if he says it's a joke, let me play this part where he says his take, so you have the full thing. And once again, you should watch his perspective of things if you have not already.
I make him out to be a liar and a cheater. So we're gonna watch this video right here. Make him out to be a liar and a cheater.
I don't want to watch this over again. So
stuff like,
sorry,
you have to white out and lose. Or that.
Yeah.
But my Pokemon are too strong to be taken out by
soft lock.
This is so painful, bro. I have taken. Yes! And there we go. He figured it out. And that's the whole thing. That's the that is where I make him out to be a liar and a cheater. His words. I think I included that in the video because, you know, I thought the contrast between, you know, him resetting and me not was funny, and I made sure to include that him figuring it out to show that, you know, he didn't mean to. I think it was obvious miscommunication in the video. And, you know, right after the race, this is before the video came out, you know, after the race, I'm like, hey, thanks for the race. It was super fun. You know, he asked me to wait 2 weeks for the video. So I do that. And then, you know, I message him later that day and I'm like, I was struggling for 30 minutes and you just reset. You know, I was just kind of like, you know, like that. And then, you know, the tone was light. And I said, you know, it's no big deal. We just had different definitions of soft lock, right? It's obvious from watching the video. That was the case. You know, we just had a different idea. And so there was that. Then I think he uploaded his video, and I think when did I upload my video? I think it was on the 30th, maybe. It wasn't this date yet. So this is October 25th, about a month after. I think we had either just done...
Okay, so that's the explanation. And the key takeaway that he said there was he included it because he thought that it was funny. And even if it was a joke that he wanted to tell, it is not a joke that I appreciated because it is very much at my expense. And not only is it just not a fun thing to see about yourself, but it makes me out to be somebody who I don't want to be. And so if you want to take a look, I believe he goes on to say that please watch his thing. But he said that there was a lot of comments on it that were not pleasant. They were calling me a liar and a cheater. And he said that started at the beginning of when he released the video, and then got better. But I am here to tell you that it did not get better. It still happens, and I still get these comments, and I still get people thinking that I am a liar and I am a cheater, in which I am not. And I feel like I need to defend myself on this. And if we just go through the comments, these are the recent comments, the recent ones, right? Pointcrow, cheater and loser. Love to see it. So bro's a cheater. Fun, It's literally. Please just go through these, and you'll see that a lot of these comments are not great. And it's still happening. So he painted me in a bad light, which is like the third time now that I've told you guys that he has. And that is why this has blown up to such a big proportion. And it's not one thing. It's all of these things built upon each other. So let me show you the DMs afterwards. I tell him that, I tell him right here that I was like, hey, yeah, like he's like, it's been a week. I uploaded the video because this one happened after me. And I was like, glad you had fun, but this is what I meant earlier, referencing my previous talk about how we got to put down the rivalry. I had to delete a wave of comments calling me a cheater because not only did they come to his comments, but they ended up going to my channel and commenting on all of my videos saying that I am a cheater. And they could not support me in good faith because I am a cheater. I was like, sorry, man, like it was accidental. Didn't mean to reset on soft locks that weren't. We all make mistakes. And then I post a comment on his video, and this really shows me that he did not care about what's happening, because he says, hopefully your comment makes it to the top there. To make it more obvious, there's a simple communication, right? Video's doing well, people love the randomizer idea. But the hope the comment makes it to the top is pretty good evidence that he just doesn't care about what's happening to me here, at least in this part. He could have pinned the comment, and he could have hearted the comment, which is just, common decency, I guess, in that case. I mean, he's pinned comments of other creators on their other videos. I am unsure as to why he didn't. Now, so he didn't do that, except 8 days later after the video was released. 8 days. It took him 8 days to finally heart the comment, which makes the comment have a greater chance of getting to the top. And then he edited his own 8 days afterwards. So after it's already been seen by the majority of people, he did that. So, yeah. And it's not just hate. I want to also reiterate this. It's not just hate on my video and his video. It's hate on other people's videos. I won't say who it is because I really don't want to bring anyone into this. Like this is between me and Smallant. But these are comments on other creators' videos. When I started doing map randomizers, like races, with other creators. Yeah, when I started doing that. So let me show you some of these. And yeah, it's like Pointcrow lost to Smallant, so he was prepared this time. Pointcrow's ego was hurt. He couldn't beat Small Grants, so he downgraded to this new creator. Don't trust Pointcrow too much. He might cheat, just like Pointcrow versus Smallant. He said no reset until soft lock, and they go into this whole thing on this other video. He could not beat Smallant, so he's on you now. This guy did this challenge already with Smallant. Pointcrow straight up challenged someone that wasn't Smallant so he could win. Like, it's a bunch of these all at once on other creators' videos. And that's just, it's like, you're painting me in a bad light to your audience, but then this also paints it in a bad light to other creators, and it is creating a toxic community everywhere. I asked him, we're still on the randomizer here, to make a community post, because I was like, come on, man, like, it's, what the hell, what's going on? You haven't at this point pinned my comment. You've done actually nothing to stop this because of what you've done to enable people to do this, how you've shown people. So I asked him to make a community post for his audience. And this is the DM of me asking him for the community post. It's like, and we had a call before this. He says, you know what? I just thought about it. After me telling him that he was the problem in this case, he says, I just thought about it. You know what I think it is? I think it's Pokemon. Right? The comments on my Pokemon videos are always the worst on my channel. I think it's a combination of Pokemon being introduced to the competition aspect. So he's taking no blame for this at all, whatsoever. And he's like, sounds good. Thanks again for understanding. Sorry it's gotten this way. And once again, this is a younger me, and I wish I didn't apologize for something I didn't do. But that is that. And he said, I appreciate the communication, which was very cordial of him. Cool. Okay. So he knows that by now, right? This is October 31st of 2021. He knows right now, in this point of time, that things are bad. The rivalry is very toxic. I've already talked to him pretty much twice now. Twice now, because one in a call, well, 3 times if you count. Oh, Jesus. The first time when I said, let's stop this, one in a call, and one when I was like, this is what I was talking about, we need to stop. So he's very much aware of the huge toxicity that is happening. And that things are bad. And I think, you got to lay off and stop with this. So that brings us to sorry. And the thing is I talked with him all this in private. And once again, and you'll see as I talk about this, nothing has changed. So let me show you this next thing, which is a thing that I had with NRG and CLG. So I used to be a part of the NRG speedrunning team, and they wanted to host an event with CLG. So it was NRG, and it was versus CLG speedrunning, and to see which one's better and raise money for charity. It was a crowd control thing, so you can donate to charity to affect our games. Let me play what Smallant said about this, because I think he put it very well. However, once again, he has not told you the full story and has left crucial context out, as well as totally mistelling it. Just here.
I think he goes on to say for a little bit, like, you're not getting it. No, like it's you're causing this.
So he knows. He very much knows it's
that's
him.
What he shares. It's you causing this, and there's like it's a big block, but the gist of it is, he's saying that I'm causing this, and I kind of respond like, I'm not sure what else I can do, because like I haven't said anything remotely negative since we had the call, and I didn't say anything remotely negative about him. I did my best. I cut down the banter. I continued.
Oh, sorry, I think this is before. Wait,
the tweets because I didn't think it was a big deal. But then he gives me a list of things that I've done, and
oh, this is before. Wait, apologies. Where does he talk about the? I'm sorry. I thought I wrote this down correctly.
Pokemon cook video. The
this
comments are just
happened
awful,
on the
especially
13th.
Pokemon cook video.
I can summarize it really quick, but
2 weeks before he. No, he's not just.
Apologies.
All chat members
Had some speedrunners signed.
Yeah, here it is.
Basically, they had two sides, an NRG side and a CLG side, and they were competing. And I watched this. I watched this live. I came in about halfway, and Linkus was losing by like a lot. And so, you know, I know Linkus. You know, Linkus is really cool. Little Curbs is cool too, but I just know Linkus better. And I decided I'm gonna donate, and the way it works is you donate some amount of money, you get coins to redeem, and then you can use those coins to modify the games. I donated too much, and so Linkus won, and I still had a hell of a lot of coins. And so, you know, I got Linkus to win, and the next race just so happened to be Cheese versus Pointcrow. Where they did a crowd control race. And, you know, I've met Cheese in person. And for full transparency, I have actually met Pointcrow in person briefly, but that's completely unrelated. But, you know, I've met Cheese in person. He's great. I was already donating to CLG for them to win, and so I just continued that. And Cheese ended up winning the Celeste race over Pointcrow. I didn't donate so Pointcrow would lose. I donated so CLG would win. Cheese would win. It, you know, wasn't my intention to, you know, just deliberately antagonize Pointcrow. So there's that. Those are the examples that he's come up with, that he came up with when I initially asked. Yeah, so those are the 4 examples that he could come up with. And again, the cheese thing, the people donating wasn't even I think the only people that could even see it were the runners. So it wasn't even contributing to any public rivalry at all. Well,
so I want to specifically address all of that because that is incorrect, very much incorrect. So the CLG versus Energy, he goes on to say he didn't want, he was donating so not so I lost, but so CLG would win. And that's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. And I don't care about winning or losing that thing. I really don't, because it's for charity and it's all in good fun once again. I think that it's not a big deal right there. But what was a big deal was that he made it a big deal. He was going into Cheese's chat during the NRG CLG, going to Cheese's chat and saying, I'm going to make you win. I'm going to donate more so that you win specifically. And that's what it was, right? And it wasn't the rivalry once again was public. Let me show you the clip. He said it isn't at all whatsoever. Like, he says it isn't at all whatsoever. It has to do with the public rivalry because nothing was displayed publicly. That is incorrect. Let me rephrase. Smallant donates. You can donate to make a runner win or a runner lose. And Smallant donates to Cheese, so he wins, gives him power-ups, and he donates to me, so I lose, gives me like power downs. Winning and losing for this is it's whatever. He's giving money to charity, that's awesome. What isn't awesome, though, is that he is constantly saying to Cheese this entire time, I am making you win. I am making Pointcrow lose, which is contributing to this. Now, let me show you the clip, which makes it even worse because it does make it public. This is me talking to Cheese afterwards live on stream.
I got extremely lucky. Like, at the end, Smallant came in my chat and he's like, I'm gonna give you invincibility and in the minute dashes for the whole summit. I was like, okay.
Dude,
I
heard you did the summit in like a minute, literally. By the way, I'm happy here because I am it's an event of CLG and NRG. I am seething inside because he knows very clearly to stay away from anything that has to do with a rivalry. Very much so. And it became public because he made it like that. He was donating. He was telling Cheese he was doing this. And Cheese gave him a shout out saying thanks for the win against Pointcrow. This is not at all saying that donating money to charity is bad. That's not the point. The point that I'm trying to make here is that Smallant is contributing to this public rivalry once again. This also has nothing to do with Cheese whatsoever, in case there's anything there. Nothing to do with him, literally. He was a fantastic guy. He is a fantastic guy, and Cheese didn't know about any of this happening. So it's only natural that he thought that we were on good terms, and he would shout it out to make the stream even better, because he thought that the rivalry was probably fun. That's the only thing. I can't speak for Cheese on this, and he has nothing to do with this whatsoever. But I want to make that very clear, that Smallant said that this wasn't a public rivalry thing. It very much was. So he did mislead you by not showing this clip. Additionally, Smallant just blatantly discredits me. Smallant just blatantly discredits me. Randomly on stream, he includes this. Let me make sure I can do this. Okay, sorry for the quality here. Here.
I watched Pointcrow, a streamer on YouTube, and then I got recommended Smallant. Who's that? Pointcrow, a streamer? What do they do? I'm curious to see, you know what? I'm gonna, speaking of Pointcrow, sorry, I don't know who this person is. I'm just curious. Random question. Would you consider yourself a speedrunner? I'm curious if Pointcrow considers himself a speedrunner. Because, like, the thing with, like, he's done about a week of Breath of the Wild any percent, right? He would not super hardcore or anything, but I do speedrun. Would you say it is a defining trait of your content? Let's see what he says. He does speedruns? Yeah, if you do speedruns, you are a speedrunner. But also, like, how do I phrase this properly? I'm trying to think. What's a hobby that I do that I wouldn't be like called that? Like when I played piano as like a hobby, I wouldn't call myself like a pianist. Pianist?
Right, and then he goes on with the pianist joke. But yes, so let me be very clear about this. I have asked Smallant to stop At this point, I have asked Smallant to stop with the rivalry, stop with the comparisons. I've told him to stop. And with these two things, right, and many more between, he is not. And it's very frustrating when I've asked him to stop and he still compares me, and he still brings me up, and he still does all of this stuff. And it's not exactly what's happening, it's the intent behind it. And if he's saying this as a joke, I don't want to be a part of the joke. Full stop. I think he goes on to his stream to say that he meant to explicitly explain that I was more than just speedrunning. That speedrunning wasn't just the part of my channel. I neglect to see where that was in that clip. So I tell Smallant, after he is not stopping at all, I tell him, and I say, stop. Like, this is, dude, this is way too much. Like, I've told you multiple times, you know, I don't know if I got my point across, but I'd really like it to end. You know, the banter's too much and it causes your audience to view me in the worst light, and they feel like they need to follow suit. It's like, Tanner, unfortunately, like, one of the reasons your audience is so rabid towards me is because of how you treat me publicly. Please stop. This is spiraled out of control. And he's like, is this the tweet? Which the tweet was the, if I get 5K likes, then I stop tweeting. And I was like, it's not just the tweet. It's just everything, you know, everything that's been happening. And I go over all of this, right? Whenever it's summer, when we're on the call, when I got a sea of hate from your last video, right? So I'm trying to settle this publicly, and I'm saying that I've told him to stop multiple times. I think this is 4 now. Generally, it's just actions you do are at the expense of me. So when you had your full conversation on the stream, like, I was not a real speedrunner and gatekeeping it, I wasn't present for that at all. I had no idea that he was doing this. I thought he was just DMing me and just to ask. And it's just not, that's not how, I've told him to stop. This is not how you treat a friend. This is not how you treat somebody that you respect. It's your actions that you treat me that cause your audience to emulate it. So it's him. And so he doesn't get this. He says the Aatrox stream, which I didn't go over because it's just another thing that happens with this. The cheese thing, he was just donating to CLG all day. You can just ask Linkus, you know. And I'm not sure how the real speedrun stream was negative towards you. The point was to say that you do more than speedrunning, which I neglect to see that point. And sorry, feel slighted, which is sorry that happened. Sorry you feel bad. I'll try to stop doing anything that can be perceived as negative. Yeah, definitely felt tense recently. I don't want that. And I tell him once again everything that I just told you guys. And he doesn't. It's because it's piled on one after the other. Individually, all these things are not bad. But it's the fact that it keeps happening, despite the fact that I've told him to stop. He says he'll do his best to make things good. All right, so we're going to go into credit now. So he has also neglected to give me credit on the things that I do, which has perpetuated the sort of aspect that I copy him, that I am a copycat of him. Yes, so Smallant does, you know, some more map randomizers for videos over the course of these months, and he doesn't credit me at all whatsoever. There's no credit in his descriptions for his videos, and there's no credit in the stream. He doesn't say it out loud, and he doesn't say it at all. And that is the one thing that I ask for. You are allowed to use all of my mods for absolutely free, and I develop them. I have I spend tons of money, tons of time, and tons of effort to create these things. And all I ask is just you say, hey, thanks to Pointcrow for this mod. You can get it here. Or you don't even have to say that. Just thanks for Pointcrow who created this mod that I can play. That's it. And he doesn't. He does not do it. At this point in time, he does not do it. He's the bigger streamer. And more people assumed that he is, you know, that it's his. But it was, you know, created... The idea of it was created by me, and I have commissioned developers to make this. So huge thank you to the developers for the map randomizer, Excellent Eternal Isaac, @sign. They've been absolutely phenomenal with it and doing their best, right? It's like, I just say, you don't have to give me visual credit or anything. Just say, hey, this is Pointcrow, and then have like a little thing that says it just says mine, that's it. Sorry, I mean, please put visual credit, like, and that, right? It's like, I put a lot of money, time, and effort into these things, and the developers that I work with do as well, right? It's literally the bare minimum, and I'm sure that any artists can relate to this. That's it. Just credit, please. It's just basic content creation standards as well. And so I tell them this. And I apologize that this is getting long. I'll try to speed up a little bit for your sake. But I said, I saw you put up the Emerald Randomizer. Are you planning on giving me or credit at all? And he's like, oh, sure. What should I link? And I was like, here, my channel, Discord, and Randomizer. And you don't have to, but courteous to put the dev names as well. And so he does it. He puts it in here. And I was like, does that look good? And I was like, awesome. Sick. Perfect. And yeah, that's it. But I also say this. I'm like, I'll change, done, thank you so much. And I'm like, FYI for the future. This is what it says. This is the prompt right above the download that says, if you choose to use these for their own content, all I ask is credit in a visible place. And he's like, didn't see that part. I was like, thanks. Hope the video pops off, right? And I talked to him and keep the time. It's 1:03 p.m. He goes live at 1 p.m. So a couple minutes later, he goes live with another map randomizer. And he doesn't credit me. There is no credit whatsoever. No credit in the title. No credit that he gives me verbally. Nothing. Immediately after I told him I would need credit on this thing, he does not do it. He has admitted that this is a fault of his. However, it's not, that's not it, right? He makes a command, right? This is after I was like, what the hell? Like, you've been telling people the reason we're not doing collabs is solely because of toxic chatters. I've told you by now it's because of you. So he's clearly lying to his chat that it's because of toxic chatters. I've told him specifically many times, 4 or 5 times now, that it's him. And he is the problem here. And that's the reason. And so he's been lying. And he's like, call, we talk about it for a bit. We talk about it for a full hour. And he finally gets this map rando command. And he says, I'll give credit in a visible place. Once again, the sorry I feel slighted, all that stuff. And up until, yeah. And that's basically that. So I wanted to make sure, because he said it was his bad, that it was all good, and everything's fine. So we did a little digging. And the reason why we had to go digging is I didn't want to fight him on any of this, but he's lied to me in the past. He's now lied to his own Twitch chat and everything. But we checked the logs, and it's just the map rando commands they didn't work. If you would like to read this, then please do. But there's just no, the map rando command didn't work. It's the one with Shady Penguin, and then this is the one with Flygon HG. I implore you to read it and everything. And it wasn't used. So you know why the command wasn't used? I was not getting sufficient credit despite this, because the command that he put, when you do a map randomizer, chat is in emote only. You can't do a command in emote only. So I was getting no credit at all. He wasn't talking about it live. He just had the command, and that's it. And so I'm still not getting credit for months. He does put me in the description of his videos. That he does do. But on stream, that's it. So that's a huge D. Yeah. So anyways, at this point, I am just done with him, right? Because I've told him to stop multiple times. He keeps going. He's lying to his chat. He's doing all of this. and I'm just not having it. So what he now starts to do, I'm going to skip a little bit here and show you this clip. But what he starts to do is he starts to use my best friend, my manager, and Abby as a middleman to talk to us, to talk to me, because I'm not having it with him. Let me show you where he talks about this, because I think this is very important, because he uses this as a point many times during his talk.
I don't know what be better is. I mean, other than like,
I tell him to
obviously
be
giving
better,
credit when
by
I
the way.
can. That was just like a stupid mistake on my part. I just, got distracted, started a race. So I called Abby, his manager, I think that day. And we talked, and with the Pointcrow stuff, I was like, what do I do? What can I do? Because, like, is there anything actionable that you can give me? And, the conversation basically was just like, just give him, obviously give him credit for the map randomizer. And I was like, that's fair. It was an honest mistake, that one. And eventually, the conversation was, he's let him be. Just leave him be. And, he.
I also want to very, very clearly, since the timeline can get a little messy here, this is before I blocked Smallant. This is before I blocked him. So he's not going to me. He went to Abby for this, and my DMs have been open to him still.
He'll kind of, figure things out.
He's going throughout the entire
I don't
Pointcrow
want to
sphere.
Speak, but essentially it was leave him be is the what Abby said to me.
All right, so this is very important. So there's two things. One, I didn't block him here. I eventually did block him, because I'll explain that in a second. But this right here, I did not block him. He went to Abby specifically to ask what he could do better. And I have gotten permission from Abby to speak a little bit on her behalf here. I've asked her very clearly and what I can and cannot talk about on stream, and what I can and I cannot say for her. At this point, he's talking to Abby, through Abby as a middleman. And this is important for context. Tanner had called her because he had no idea what to do with the situation, and there'd already been a lot of damage done, and he wanted help. Abby used to be in Tanner's community, and she wanted to help me out because she knows everything that I've been going through as well. She addressed the many things that Tanner could have done to change the trajectory early on, and clearly explained why I was hurt in that moment, and concluded that the harm was done, and at that moment, time and space would be the best move. She gave him all the tools to fix it, and he just didn't do it. So not only have I told him to stop in every single aspect of what he's been doing, but she has told him everything. Spoilers multiple times. Let me show you. I have permission from Abby to show these DMs as well. But she gives a bunch of info. He says that all Abby did was tell him to just stop and just move on. Right? She gave him all of this. I won't read all of it for the sake of time, but please do read all of it. I'm just absolutely pissed about everything, and she's explaining why, in her words now, not just me, because I've already explained it, and he hasn't understood this, right? And this is later, when I did block Smallant, and he's like, he messages Abby again after I've blocked him just to get to me. And Abby just reiterates, I told you he needs space. And this is also after Abby has told him to stop messaging her. And yet he continues. So, yes. So that is, it's just, we're telling him to stop. Just stop all of this stuff. Just please, for the love of God, do something that isn't in my sphere. Please just be a better person, and stop affecting everybody around me and painting me in a bad light and doing all of these things. Just think about other people before you act. And that is something I have told him many times. So Breath of the Wild randomizer. We are in December of 2021. Don't worry, there's a couple more things. Apologies, this is getting long, but this is all important because it's not just one thing it's not just one thing. It's all of these things built up one after other. There's no miscommunication here, except for maybe like one or two things here. But there's nothing like I've told him all of this. And so I don't understand why he was trying to tell you guys that it was just a misunderstanding. It was not. This is very much known. So Breath of the Wild randomizer comes out in December. Waikuteru comes to me before and says, hey, I see you came out with the multiplayer bounty. I would like that $10,000 for this map, for this randomizer I have for Breath of the Wild. And I say no, because I don't want to spend $10,000 on a Breath of the Wild randomizer. I would not make money on that. And he was very much insistent that he knew how much I made, so therefore he knew that I would get that money back. And I just said no, I can't do this deal. I'm sorry, good luck with it. Eventually, December comes around, and I say, I go back to Waiku, and I'm like, all right, I will make a deal with you. You did put a lot of effort into this, and it is a very good idea. I would like not exclusive. I don't want like my name around it and me to help develop this, like the map randomizer in Breath of the Wild multiplayer now. But what I would like to do is I would like to pay you specifically for early access. I'd like to get early access. And so he says that he's already given early access to another creator. However, if I talk to that other creator, and said other, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting emotionally charged here, so I need to calm down just a little bit. I pay Waikuteru $1,000 for exclusivity with the mod after contacting that other creator to ask if it was okay if I did that. And I said it would just be me and other creator, and sounds good. It is important. Exclusivity does matter a lot because being first on the internet is a huge deal. It's not only it's you get it out first. People see it first. They watch your video first. It's very much a huge deal. That's why I paid for $1,000 for this. And so I paid to have it early and exclusive from other creators, except for that one creator who I talked to earlier. So I paid to have it just me and another creator, and early. So it's just the two of us. And so basically what came to light while I'm planning these videos and everything is that he was aware at the time that I was waiting for another content creator to post their video about the Breath of the Wild randomizer, and that people had discussed it with Smallant. And regardless, and he knew this, and regardless of that, he was still determined to post, Smallant was still determined to post his video as early as he could. And I have proof of this in the form of, once again, DMs. Right. So I said that basically starting on the 12th, with the condition that neither Smallant or you play it and everything, and I want to send you the download in the next hour. So he shows that Waiku basically says that he contacted Smallant earlier. Sorry. Smallant contacted Waiku earlier saying that he wants to check it out on the 16th. That Smallant wants to check it out on the 16th, like 2 days before the Patreon early access. And Waiku just gives him exclusivity, gives him the mod. Doesn't think it's a big deal. Even though I paid $1,000 to have it exclusive and early. Now, there is fault on Waiku for that, and I've already dealt that with Waiku. So please do not send any hate towards Waiku. We are on good terms, and it seemed like it was a misunderstanding. But regardless, the mod ended up getting into the hands of Smallant, and he was very much aware that I was waiting for another content creator to post their video, and people had discussed it with him. And regardless, Smallant was still determined to post it on the date before I could get it out, right? And so when he was mentioning this, he also bragged how his video had more views anyways. So I also fail to see how that is relevant, and it really put me off to his talk about this. Specifically, he wanted to get his like, he told other creators that his plan was purposely to get the video out before me. And as you can see from these screenshots, very much so that happened. That is what transpired. So this is really shitty because not only everything that I've talked about has happened, but he's trying to get out his video before me specifically, and he knows that people call me a copycat. He knows that people he's further propagating this. That's what's happening here. If he gets his video out first and I get mine out second, people call me a copycat. It is what happens. You can check any of my videos. Okay. So next, Subnautica. Subnautica happened, and I wanted to play it. I've been wanting to play Subnautica for a while, and that's not a big deal at all. It's just Subnautica. It's just a game. It's whatever. But when I posted my VOD on YouTube, and when I started my stream, everything was fine. Everything was a-okay. And we've talked about this privately in a call, which I'll get to as well. But we have made it very clear to each other that we understand that it was just a coincidence that we both played Subnautica just at that time, because I had planned to play it after Undertale, and he happened to pick up the game right there. I think he was also talking about it for a while. So that was a complete coincidence. There was no ill intent there from either side. But he posted a video on YouTube, and further proof that you can check my Subnautica videos if you scroll all the way down to before I talked about this on stream. I got some hate for playing Subnautica because people started to say that it is crazy that there's so many coincidences where Smallant's getting his stuff out first. And I think it's just it's just like sorry, there's screenshots about sorry, there's, let me go back. So for the I see a lot of you guys asking about screenshots for the Breath of the Wild mod stuff. I told you that I got permission from everybody to show here. I did not get permission from some other people to show because they don't want to be involved with this at all. I wish I could. I know that sounds like an excuse, but I care more about the people that I work with than the people that I care more about the people that I work with than the people than the content that it is, you know, and to just show it out there. That's specific. Sorry. That's why I can't. The screenshots that I showed already are the ones that I am allowed to show, and I think that it is very evident that he's planned to get this out before me. Yeah. So, anyways, so Subnautica, back to that. I was starting to get hate for playing it because people were saying it's crazy that there's so many coincidences that Pointcrow is playing the same games as Smallant. And he mentioned in his stream that I brought up Hollow Knight, and he has no idea why I brought up Hollow Knight. I brought up Hollow Knight as an example of me not being able to play a game without getting a certain amount of hate if he plays the same thing. For example, I saw Atrioc play the game. I was like, cool. I can't wait to play it. I got like 1 or 2 comments being like, oh, Atrioc played this, which is fine. That's like actually a healthy amount of whatever. And then when Smallant played it, I got a ton of comments saying, I am a copycat. I'm only playing it because Smallant's playing it. Or Smallant did the Path of Pain faster, therefore he's better than you. Things like that. That's why I brought up the Hollow Knight thing. And that's very much important. This is a symptom of a greater thing. It's not his fault I'm playing Subnautica. It's not his fault I'm playing Hollow Knight. I'm my own person, but this is just further why I talked about this on Subnautica, and why I talked about this on Hollow Knight. It's just, I haven't been able to do things. I post my schedule on my YouTube community page because when we were on good terms, he told me that it was a good idea to do so. You should do that. And so I did that. And people called me you cited that as a copycat of him. I wasn't able to change my stream schedule from 2 p.m. to 1 p.m. because he streams at 1 p.m. And that would be a copycat move to stream at the same time that he does. And it's just awful. I haven't been able to do things that I've been wanting to do. And that's not to say it's just, I haven't been living a great content creator life when I've been really kind of squeezed into this corner as Smallant's copycat, and you're not allowed to do things because he's done that. Anyways, so I blocked Smallant. This point in time, I block him. I don't want to see his face. I don't want to see what he says. I don't want to see what anybody says about this. This is not, I block it, right? Because after you see someone's face, their name, and everything they've done wrong, and they've ignored you after you've told them to stop multiple times, you just want it out of your life. I didn't want this whole thing to be public, right? I wanted to solve this privately. As you can tell, I've done many times to solve this privately, and I'll get to more of that later. Trust me, that's worse. But blocking him was a way that I wanted to move on. I was like, I think we can still solve this. I think we can still amend this. I need to block you so I can move on from this and then come back, right? That's how I process things. That's what it was. I don't know why he was confused about me blocking him. I don't understand that because it's very clearly I don't want to see him. He didn't do anything bad at that moment, but that doesn't mean he hasn't done things bad for the past 7 months. His name was blocked as well from my Twitch chat because I kept getting comments about him and all the comparisons, and it was also blocked from my YouTube comments. So you couldn't say his name anymore. That's how bad it was. Every single thing I did, he was pulled into it. And I was it took me. I'll get to another point. Sorry, it took me a long time to do this because I thought that I just needed thicker skin, and that I just needed to ride out the hate until it died. And my mods can attest to this because they've wanted to block his name for months longer than I wanted to. I was actively against blocking his name because I thought I just needed a thicker skin, and I thought I could just ignore it. Every advice of like, why didn't you just ignore it? I tried it. I tried it for months up until this moment. And I couldn't any longer. I just couldn't. I broke. He also mentions, let me once again play another thing that he mentions here, specifically about other creators and me getting hate with other creators.
To me is that he's never really experienced negativity from anyone else's audiences, like from my audience. And I'm gonna kind of run through why I think that is. First off, he has had some negativity from other audiences. These were heavily inspired by Doug. The videos actually open up with the line, "With the help of my friend Doug." They open up with that line. That is the first thing that they say. And scrolling through the comments seems like it'd be a Doug video. Doug 2, stop doing Doug's content. They edited though. Never mind. They're all good. Damn, didn't know Doug was popular enough to have copycat YouTubers. Doug's version is better. There was a whole like semi-viral tweet of people just being absolutely fucking awful. This is why I hate Twitter, by the way. This sucks. This is stupid. I just want to get rid of this person. Don't just shit on people for no reason. But there's like copy Doug Doug soft content, Doug's actually funny, inventive, semi-official Doug ripoff, not as entertaining, right? Like, and all of this stuff happened, all this stuff has happened. And again, earlier on in content, he made a similar video to Ludwig. He did a Wikipedia race. Scrolling through that video, Ludwig, you could have credited Ludwig for the idea, copying Ludwig. Wait a second, this isn't Ludwig. Ludwig copies Ludwig title style, stolen from Ludwig. Give it Ludwig Atrix stands credits. Awful. It sucks. I'm not. It's the worst. And like he's not alone with this, right? Like every content creator has this, and like I experienced this when I was growing.
He goes on to say that he's experienced this with Fearsome Fire, and mentions that he actually thinks that the stuff that he went through with Fearsome Fire was worse. But that is, yeah. So he compares all of the hate that I have gotten for the past 7 months to a semi-viral tweet that happened once and one video that happened when I put out Doug. That's he says it happens to everyone, which diminishes my feelings about this and skews the scale of what happened to me. It's the same thought that he is telling you guys that prevented me from being confrontational any sooner, right? These instances were also just super isolated. He's really downplaying it. And even though that it seems like he's defending me here, it's not. As much as it seems like he's defending me, it's comparing my situation here where I've clearly said, Tanner, stop. Stop with everything like this. Stop with the rivalry. Please stop. And then continues to an isolated incident of me having a thumbnail that is similar to Ludwig. That is that. Finish the clip? All right, I'll finish the clip.
I got this a lot. I managed my comments a hell of a lot when I was smaller, like under 100K. I read every single comment and like filtered them perfectly. So there aren't many remaining. But I have a few comments where, someone already did this. I didn't claim to be the first, whatever. Shout out to Game Champ, because I was doing a lot of Game Champ challenges in Super Mario Odyssey when I started. Champ Ant, Discount Fearsome Fire, Smallant is the new Helix Snake. And this is the one that I got a lot. Discount Fearsome Fire. I got that one a ton when I was growing, because I did a lot of Fearsome Fire content. Some days I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna open up Fearsome Fire's channel, see what I haven't done, and try it out because it looks fun. We had similar interests, so I mean, that was fair. But also we had a rivalry. He'd go and say Smallant sucks. I'll beat him at 80% on Twitter and stuff, right? Like it was probably more toxic than the rivalry Eric and I had.
So that's where he says it. I don't see where he says it's more. He says that the rivalry was more toxic. Guys, if you're saying keep playing, it's not finished. All right, I'll keep playing it. My bad. Sorry. Let me make a fair trial here. Let me give him more time. You can also please go watch his entire VOD on this. Don't take what I'm saying for granted. He also has a side to this. Please go check out his VOD.
I don't have any ill will towards Fearsome Fire, though. I don't think he has any ill will towards me. We had an understanding, and I think we were smaller creators, so it didn't really get to the level that Pointcrow is experiencing now. But speaking of that, when I initially was getting into Breath of the Wild content, I experienced that too, a lot. I got that a lot. And I scrolled through a few of my Breath of the Wild videos and picked out some comments. Not Pointcrow. Pointcrow did this. That was a Pointcrow video, copy from Pointcrow. This is actually kind of funny. This is the yeah, this is actually the same person commenting on two separate videos. It's not the same comment. Anyways, but yeah, Pointcrow did this challenge, but legitimately, Pointcrow did the same thing. Pointcrow did it first. Pointcrow's shield only challenge. Like it goes for a while. I'm just gonna scroll for a bit. There's a lot. And, you know, I'm not doing this to garner sympathy. I just want you guys to know it happens to fucking everybody. It happened to me the opposite direction. And I mean, if it's happening to me this much, I'm double his size, so it's probably happening twice as much to him. He sees twice as much of this. Sorry, I need to keep scrolling a little bit. Yeah. Twice as much. Which, I mean, after seeing that for a really long time, that hurts the mental, man, right? Awful.
Right. So there's a couple things here. It's fair that he acknowledges this. It is very much. He knows it's an issue very clearly. Hell yeah, agree. I get a lot. I get twice as much as him. That is true, 100%. However, just saying that everybody gets hate doesn't negate the way that I feel about this. It doesn't negate everything that's happened. Just because it happened to both of us doesn't mean it doesn't matter, right? It's just like I felt at times that like I was overreacting about this. And he said he's gotten some flack over too as well. But the sheer and volume of degree of hate is just, it's a lot for anybody to go through. And he says that as well. But we're also two separate people who can handle separate degrees of hate. In hindsight, like this is just invalidating how I feel. And that's how I feel about this. When he says this, he's comparing my stuff to isolated incidents and comparing it to his rivalry that he says was worse. He's saying I'm getting a lot, so he clearly knows. I every now and then I feel like I'm overreacting about this, but then I just keep looking over at all of the sheer everything that's been going on. It's all of this compared with the past 7 months of him not stopping. So we're nearing the end here. I feel like he messaged me here at this point that he wants to talk. He says, "Hey, you know, I unblock him after he after he goes through every channel to get to me. Once again, I'm still trying to stay away. I need some space and time. But he says, I appreciate you're willing to talk because I unblock him. Is there any time that you're free for a call? And so I say, yo, I won't be free until my subathon's over, so I can call after that. Sounds good. When's it starting? The 10th. And all right, hope it goes well. Talk to you in a month. Now, there seems to be some sort of miscommunication here about, he thinks that when I say I can call after that, it means that like personally I'm going to call after that. There's probably some miscommunication here, but that's not the issue. The issue is that he's the one that needs to reach out. Like if he really wanted to make amends, right? He's the one at the end of the day that needs to reach out here. I'm hurting. I'm clearly hurting from all of this stuff. I've told him that multiple times. And so it's not my, it's like, in my opinion, I think he should reach out. Maybe we have different opinions about that. And that is okay. That is A-okay. But it's been 3 weeks since the subathon, and it just shows to me that he doesn't care about what's going on. It's like, I mean that like, sorry, let me go back. So he says, I unblock him, and he's like, I appreciate you're willing to talk. When are you free? And I was like, after my subathon, I'm available after that. That's what I meant by that. He took it as that I will call him after that. And I was like, he says, sounds good. And he says, talk to you in a month. And so in my opinion, I thought that he was going to reach out to me. Like I thought he was going to reach out to me after the subathon to talk about all of this stuff. But I think he should have. But yeah, that's kind of, you know, yeah. So, me wanting to not contact, it's just, okay. Heart Gold Soul Silver randomizer. Let's get into that. So this is the recent thing that happened. and the straw that broke the camel's back, to say the least, the catalyst of all of this, where I have this map randomizer. Now we're going to go back to the all the way back to when I am clearly, very clearly, and I've showed this, I've proved this, not credited for the map rando. So that is huge. I'm not credited. So people do not know that I am the one who has been developing these with my team, these map randomizers. So Adrian, by the way, Adrian is not. I want to make it very clear because I have learned information. I've gathered. I've changed. Adrian is not at all at fault. Unfortunately, it seems that Adrian was caught in the crossfire of all of this, and just happens to be somebody involved. Adrian is not at fault. The developer of the Harkle Soul Silver randomizer is not at fault. I want to make that very clear. I am sorry if I'm sorry that I made it out to be like that. That is a miscommunication, genuine miscommunication on my part, and I apologize about that. But the thing here is that Adrian did not know that I was making these map randomizers because of the insufficient credit that Tanner was giving me. And smallant then plays Harkle Soul Silver randomizer, knowing that I am actively developing that with my team. I have told him that in a call and on streams. I have told him that I'm actively developing a Harkle Soul Silver randomizer. And he knows this. And he knows it's one of the next ones to come out. And yet, he gets this randomizer and decides to play it anyways. Knowing as well that we've had all of these problems of people telling me I'm a copycat, people telling me I'm a lesser version of him, and me telling that he is the problem in this and perpetuating this this thought that I am copying him. So him doing this, knowing full well that I am getting a randomizer out, does it anyways and attempts to get it out before me. He streams it before me and he's made a video. He's told me this in a private call yesterday that he has already edited it into a video and he's trying to put it on his channel. He did not tell you guys that. The reason why we took a long time was we wanted to make quality of life features and like everything of like you have like a cheat sheet, and we were also working on Black and White 2, and we were also working on Fire Red Leaf Green all at once. So let me go forward and show you what he had to say about his opinion on what he was saying, why he just played it.
I got a working randomizer on April 27th. I basically just @signed what they did because I was curious, but you didn't change the logic at all. All the stuff for public release was just patching stuff that @signed pointed you in the general direction of. Okay. All right. So yeah, they were just trying.
Oh, also sorry. Apparently you did. I was I might have been caught in an ad here. I was in the car on the side of a street when I was watching this. So that's my bad. If he did say that he had it edited already, that's okay. But that's not the point here. The point here and the very intention of this is that he is knowingly getting this video out, knowing that I am also putting a video out of this. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
And just didn't realize that.
My bad. Thanks for correcting me, chat.
You know. And just to say, you know, I was pointing, yeah, I mean, that sounds great. You know, and no one ever, like, I don't think there was enough communication to realize what was going on here. Because, like, it seemed like Adrian was just interested in the map randomizer and didn't, like, have one functional. I think maybe there was just a lack of information there, and it kind of wasn't great. But anyways. I got the working randomizer on April 27th, It was publicly released on May 2nd. And it was my birthday on May 3rd. And so, you know, at this point, you know, Pointcrow and I are not talking. He hasn't messaged me. We're not really on talking terms.
Anyways, sorry. He goes on to say that he was just like, fuck it, like it's my birthday, I'm just gonna do it, whatever. And it's just, I know it seems like a small thing of like him doing it before me. But once again, I want to reiterate that he has done this before with the Breath of the Wild randomizer. And I have been called a copycat multiple times now, and he is very much aware of that. So thank you. Okay. So after all of this, I message him and I tell him, let me show you the message. After all of this, I say, hey, yo, glad to know that you only want to talk because you're getting public flack. And you haven't reached out in 3 weeks. Just want you to know it's super shitty that you went ahead and did the map randomizer. And after knowing that I was working on it, you know that the insufficient credit you've given me in the past made it seem like you're the one developing these, and you still went out and sniped to get it out sooner. Just like you did with the Breath of the Wild randomizer. I get called a copycat and a lesser version of you on a daily basis. So why you're trying to do my ideas before I do and not actively stop your audience from bombarding me with things? What the hell? So this is now like the 7th time I've told him, stop. Like, just please stop. And I'm trying to settle all of this publicly. All of it. And to that he says, oh, I didn't get the Heart Gold Soul Silver randomizer developed. So we talk for an hour after that. And this is last night. Privately. We talked about this privately. And I wanted to figure this out. Again. Privately. He thinks that after this hour-long call yesterday, he thinks that he did nothing wrong throughout all of this. Maybe he could have done the credit better, and he has said that on stream. So thank you for, and he also said this privately to me as well, that he thought that the credit that he gave was insufficient. He said that the map randomizer was free game because it was public, not understanding that this is a common decency to not do that, and then also that I've been getting a lot of hate for this. And so as an example, I wanted to pick his brain, and I wanted to know. I was like, all right, cool. So what if the Breath of the Wild randomizer, the Breath of the Wild multiplayer, which I have actively developing right now, the Breath of the Wild multiplayer, what if that was leaked and available publicly? Like, what would you do? And he said that he would just go ahead and play it because it's publicly available, and he thinks it would be fun to play. I asked, I was like, so you're not gonna like talk to me about, like, just give me a heads up about this, that like it's out, or like you're not gonna like talk to me about it, like, oh, you know, you get your video out first and then I can like schedule mine after because I know you were working on a heart. Like he's just gonna do it. He says he's just gonna play it. I told him to think of others before he does things, to which he would reply that he doesn't think about me every time that he does something, which missed the point, and I don't think he gets that point. It was an hour-long talk, and not once did he think he was anything wrong. He also point-blank denied yesterday and today that he was trying to get out the Breath of the Wild randomizer video before me, that he wasn't. And I know that to be a genuine lie. Yes. And then I want to talk about one thing too. He had an open letter to me, and he asked me how we could fix this. And he offered me, you'll see, he offered me something that it's very nice to offer. I will address that in a second. I'm almost done. I'm almost to my conclusion.
And I think I misunderstood the effect that I was having on him, and you know, the fact that I didn't say anything publicly, I think he was expecting that. You know, something that I will do if you want, Eric, if you're watching this, DM me. If you want, I can take down every video that we're like competing. A lot of them do really well. but I will take them down if you want me to, just to, you know, have people stop seeing the competition stuff, because I know those do have a lot of views. I'm not, what Eric says I will do. I think there's only 4 or so videos on the channel. I will be unlisting them. So, you know, for those of you that want to still watch it, that you know about it, they'll still be there, but no one can find them, basically.
Okay, so he continues that. I want to make 2 points here. It's very nice of him to offer something like that. That is a lot to offer somebody. You take down a video. That's like the bread and butter of what makes us content creators. So it's very, very nice of him to offer. But I think he misses the point here. It's not about the videos that are up right now. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we were supposed to be friends. It's the fact that we were supposed to be on good terms. Like, we were supposed to be content creators together. Like, we were helping each other out. Like, the rivalry was fun when it started. It's all about that. It's not about videos. He made this. I gave him my answer too, privately. He asked this to me last night, and I answered it. I answered it sincerely last night. So I am confused why he brought it up publicly when he knows my answer. I will tell you my answer. My answer is that I'm not him. I am not him. So I can't say yes to that. I can't say take down your videos. I don't want to control your channel. I'm not you. That's not something that, like, I'm comfortable with like asking of somebody. That's a lot to ask of somebody. And I can't say no, because then I'm also not okay. Like, I'm not consenting to this. I'm not saying don't take down your videos. Everything's okay. Like, I talked about this privately with him already. He's asked this of me privately last night. And he asks this as an open letter once again publicly. Very performative. I'm confused. It doesn't even have to do with the videos. The damage has been done. We were supposed to be friends. This was something that we were supposed to. There was supposed to be mutual respect here. You were supposed to treat me like another person that you like, and we had a good thing going. It's not about the videos, man. It's about that you've absolutely disrespected me and just ignored every single plea that I have asked for you to stop, to treat me with respect, to know, to think about others before you do something. I had no intention of releasing any of these private DMs, these conversations, or any personal details. But because he's made this a public event, I feel the need to address it. I'm sorry that it has come this way. Apologies to everyone who has enjoyed everything. But we're done. Like, he's apologized. I don't accept your apology. You've blatantly lied to your own audience. You've deliberately misinformed people again about the situation. You've emotionally manipulated me multiple times. And it's not just me. I know there's other people out there with similar stories. And some of them are more personal than others, and they're not mine to tell. But there are other people out there, and I am scared of saying this and attacking it out here and just telling it as it is. I'm scared, and I am fearful for my channel. I am fearful for the people around me, and I am fearful for my friends and anybody that works with him in the future. Everything that I say on stream today, I am totally comfortable saying to his face. I want to make that also very clear. I'm not hiding behind anything. This is a lot. This wasn't a simple miscommunication, but like I said before, I think he needs to think about things before he does things. Think about how it affects others, and have some empathy for once. And you know what? It was a nice time being your friend, but looks like we're done. Looks like we can't see eye to eye on this. So, all right. That's my piece. I want to conclude this as there's a lot that has been said from both sides. Please do not. This is between me and this is between Smallant. I've tried my best to deal with this privately as much as I can, but this is between me and Smallant. He wanted to do it on a public stage, so we have. So if don't harass Smallant. Once this is me, this is him. Do not harass him. There's a lot that's been said. He knows my point of this. And any further stuff that happens onwards will be dealt with privately, I hope. And I will do my best to keep it there because that's where it needs to be. So thank you for listening to yeah, you're not, by the way, once again, before I end, don't harass Smallant. You are not fighting for me. That's not, I want to make that very clear. This is not, you don't do anything on my behalf. There's no reason. Okay. He knows my piece. I know his piece. We're done. Thank you.